ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਖਾਸ ਗੈਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੋ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਸਪੀਰੇਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਨੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਮ ਜੀ ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਮੋਸਟ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ So again, yes, welcome to the show, and we actually mentioned Maninder in our good news story for today because you know we were so impressed to learn about Maninder, but I want to know so much more about you. So tell us, how old are you at the moment? 21 at the moment. Wow, okay. And are you currently at university at the moment, aren't you? Is it his final year?
Yes, it is final year.
Yeah, and what were you studying? Computer science. Wow. And that's quite a difficult subject as well, isn't it? I mean, it's quite difficult to get into, but how are you finding it? How's that going for you so far?
Good.
Yeah.
And then a lot of new things. He's learning a lot of new things.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਕੁਝ ਰੰਗ ਹੀ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਸੋ ਇੰਨਾ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਵਜੂਦ ਵੀ ਉਸਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਿਲ ਪਾਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡੀ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮਾਸਟਰ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ
no, it's undergraduate, yeah, final year as well.
ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਡਲ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ 골ਡ ਮੈਡਲ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਰਲਡ ਗੇਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 3rd ਜੋ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਸੀ 골ਡ ਮੈਡਲ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਸੋ ਵੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾਣ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਖੁਦ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਤਪਰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਦਾ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਂ ਰੋਸ਼ਨ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ
Absolutely. I mean, it can be such a difficult time to go through to be categorised as disabled and to actually be able to achieve, you know, what you want. It can create a barrier, but that wasn't the case for Maninder, was it? I mean, you were able to do everything that you wanted to do. But I mean, how did he get into sports? How did he actually? I mean, did he approach you or did you approach him?
Can you explain that? Because
Yes, certainly. He started getting involved with sport when he was at school and at age 6.
ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਗ੍ਰੈਮ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਕੋਚ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਗੇਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਚਿੰਗ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਥ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਗ੍ਰੈਮ I want to ask you when did you meet him?
I met Maninder just over 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I was contacted and asked if I would be prepared to help coach a disabled sports person who was local to where I was. So I said yes, I'll go and meet up and.
And have you dealt with many disabled? I mean, is this what you do? Do you sort of coach disabled?
Basically, I'm an athletics coach, but I coach able-bodied and disabled.
Okay.
Mainly able-bodied, mainly youngsters from the age of. Generally from 9-10 years old up to about 20, although I do have some older athletes that I coach up to their 70s.
Oh wow, okay,
and
they're still going.
Some disabled athletes that I work with, such as Maninder, yes.
Yeah, and then, I mean, of course you'd face quite a lot of difficulties sort of training people from, especially if they do have disabilities. I mean, talk about that, what's your experience like with that?
Basically, you treat a disabled person the same way that you treat an able-bodied person.
Yeah.
You find out what they're capable of doing now, what they need to be capable of doing to achieve a decent level in the sport that they're doing, and you basically take them through the process. You have to adapt things because obviously there are certain things that disabled people can't do that able-bodied people can.
Absolutely.
But generally speaking, you apply the same principles. You train them hard until they tell you to stop.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, so what do you hope to? Where do you hope Maninder to be? I mean, what sort of level do you want him to be at?
Well, I mean, Maninder currently is at world-class level. With his seated club throw, he's classified as an F1 athlete, which is the most disabled field category.
Right, okay.
And last year he won the gold medal at the World Games, and he's currently ranked number 3 in the world this year.
Massive achievement there.
With his race running, which basically he only took up just over 3 months ago, he's currently at the European Games in Denmark in July. He won 3 gold and 1 silver medal.
Oh wow, okay.
And he is currently ranked number 1 in the world over 4 distances and number 3 in the world over the other distance that he does.
And where were these medals won at? Did you say the World Games?
The World Games were held in Nottingham last year.
Yeah.
I went to the Denmark.
Yeah, the European Race Running Championships were held in Copenhagen in Denmark.
Yeah.
The 4 medals there are the 4 that he won in Denmark.
Yeah, you can see those. A lot of medals there as well, isn't it? It's a fantastic achievement.
Gold for 40 metres, 60 metres and 100 metres, and silver for 200 metres.
Yeah.
He also raced the 400 metres. It was the first time he'd done that distance, and he made the final for that.
Wow.
So that was a pretty good achievement. Since then we've moved on.
Yeah.
Progressed further. He currently tops the world rankings over 40, 60, 100 and 200, and is literally within 0.2 of a second of the 200 metre world record.
Wow, that is a fantastic achievement.
Which I'm sure he will tell you something about now.
I can't see me tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is the CP Sport Cup final competition.
Okay.
So he's going to participate in it?
Yes, and we're hoping if the weather's fine, it's not raining, it's not too windy, we're hoping that with a bit of luck, he might take that world record.
And how are you feeling? Are you nervous, Maninder?
No.
Nah. He's not nervous. You know what you're doing now, Maninder.
He thrives under pressure.
Does it? Oh wow, that's good. It's
The more
good
the
to
pressure,
see.
the better.
And he's always smiling as well. Like even when the first time you met him, he's always got this massive smile on his face, and I find that just itself just so like lovely and just so inspiring. But I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel more inspired as well when you met Maninder and when you see his passion and his drive to do well?
When we first met, there was an immediate liking, a mutual liking.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And if you have that sort of drive, my job is then to direct it in the right way.
That's it. Yeah.
The success he's had is down to him.
Yeah.
All I do is tell him what he needs to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
He's the one who has to do it. And he is very, very driven personally.
Yeah.
He knows where he wants to get to, and he does everything that he needs to do to get to that level.
Yeah.
It's a joy to coach, basically.
But he's he's been through a hell of a lot, whether it's personal issues, family issues. He's been through so much, and just to still have that smile on your face at the end of the day. I mean, how do you do it? How do you still feel so passionate and so courageous all the time?
He doesn't consider himself to be disabled. He considers himself to be a sportsman.
Yeah.
It's the body that's disabled, not
his mind.
Yeah, if there's something that he can't do, he will try and find a way to adapt so that he can get to.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਬੋਡੀ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਆ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਈਵਨ ਜੋ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਦੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਵੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਠੀਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਦੇ
ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ
ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਡਿਸੇਬਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ that's so right we sort of disable our minds because we don't want to do much, even though our bodies are capable. But Maninder's completely the opposite. Although his body isn't fully capable of doing things, he makes sure that he goes out and still does it because his mind is fully working and he knows what he wants.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਾਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਰਟਿਸਿਪੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੇਮ ਵਿਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੈਡਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਅਚੀਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਲੈਵਲ ਡਾਊਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਅੱਜ ਬੈਠੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਖਾਸ ਗੈਸਟ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਗਿਰਨ ਦਿਓ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਓਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਗ ਪੈਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੋਚਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਰੀਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਗੇਮ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਚੀਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਚੀਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੋ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਹੈ
Absolutely. So for those at home who hopefully you know I would feel so inspired by Maninder, and if anyone is in a similar situation, I mean if you also have cerebral palsy or if you are disabled in any way, don't ever feel discouraged, don't ever feel like you can't do anything, because Maninder's clearly this prime example of someone who just he's a go-getter, he gets what he wants and he can still be an athlete in his own right. So anyone at home, if you do want to achieve something, you should absolutely go and get it because everything is possible.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ ਸੋ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੋ ਜਿਵੇਂ I just want to Graham ask you what's the future plan for Maninder and what do you preparing for next plan?
At the moment, the two events that Maninder is involved with, which is the race running and the seated club throw, his disability category is not included in the Paralympic Games.
Yeah.
We are hoping that in the future the race running will become a Paralympic event.
And how likely is that?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
They always look at what new events are possible to bring in.
Yeah.
Race running currently, its stronghold is in most of Europe.
Okay.
There are a few race runners in the USA. There are some race runners in Russia and one or two other countries, but the bulk of it is England, Scotland, Portugal, the Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. But it's growing, and it's growing at a fairly quick rate.
Brilliant,
and the more publicity it gets, the quicker it will grow. It's a very fair sport because people are categorised and compete against their own category. So Maninder is competing against athletes with similar disabilities. Those with less disabilities compete against others with less disabilities. Unlike the seated club throw, where at a world-class level, Maninder has to compete against less disabled athletes, which obviously puts him at a disadvantage.
Right, okay, yeah.
The biggest problem that sports like race running and most disability sports have is that a lot of people who are sitting out there and thinking, could I do this? Don't know who to get in touch with. There are organisations out there that are involved with sport, and one of the ones that are very, very supportive are Sikh Sport, who are based in Nottingham. They very, very actively support and encourage particularly youngsters who are starting to come through to get onto the path to sports. There are many sports colleges around who again actively support disabled athletes, and likewise a lot of the universities too. Nottingham University has been very supportive.
Oh really? Okay.
With helping with his training and his fitness regimes, and that means an awful lot to a disabled person. It enables them to be able to look at something and say, yeah, there is somebody I can contact.
Thank you so much, Graham, for having here. And I just want to मैं संगतां नूं भी एक बार फिर दसना चाहुंदा कि उन्हां दे जिहड़े सोशल मीडिया दी जो वेबसाइट्स आ ट्विटर दी hashtag Sikh for Life and Facebook page आ facebook.com MSHF31. ਸੋ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਮਨਿੰਦਰ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈ www.manindersinghhayer.co.uk ਐਂਡ ਇਹਦਾ ਚੈਰਿਟੀ ਫੰਡਰੇਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ justgiving.com ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟਸ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
Absolutely. So if you want to find out more information about Maninder, and if you want to keep up to date on what he's getting up to and where he's going with his life, you can follow him on Twitter and Facebook at Sikh4LFE and facebook.com/MSHF31. He also has his own website, which is manindersinghayer.co.uk. So do have a look to find out more information about him.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ। ਸੋ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਅਮਰਦੀਪ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਸੋਮਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸੋ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।